Assessing learners' knowledge and skills is a continuous process and helps inform planning and delivery. Digital methods can save time and energy in setting and marking assessments, but can also create more engagement and enthusiasm for learners when it comes to being assessed. The following 4 slides will highlight some of the digital assessment methods. Kahoot. I would imagine that there's a fair few of you who are already familiar with this and actually use this within sessions. It's probably the most popular one, the most familiar one. So what is it? It's a web-based quiz system where learners can play either individually or as a team, given a series of questions with multiple choice answers, and points are awarded for correct answers, but also quickness. So we have that idea of recall being introduced here. How quickly can you recall the answer to the question, on top of can you recall the correct answer to the question? Once a Kahoot's set, it can be reused. There's also a chance of reordering the questions as well. So for retrieval and sort of coming back to previous learning, you can ask the same questions but in a different order. So you're not having to create new Kahoots every time you want to reassess a piece of learning that's already happened. Fantastic way to generate healthy competition in groups, and there's always a bit of a buzz when a Kahoot is used. It does engage even those learners who you feel are not particularly enthusiastic about any aspect of their learning, particularly assessment as well. And learners do seem to be familiar with it from previous experience in school, so they know how it works. I suppose the only downside of it is the idea that most learners will need access to a device for it to work. It can take a little bit of time for people to get up and running with that. However, as with everything, the more it's done, the easier and the quicker it becomes. Kahoot is a good way of formative assessment, element of competition, and saving time because you can reuse the Kahoots. You can also search for pre-done ones as well on the website once you log in. Plickers, similar to Kahoot, but it only needs one phone, which is yours. So if you do have issues with people using phones not in the way that you would like them to do in your sessions, this is a good way of introducing some digital assessments, some alternative assessment methods that only require you to have a mobile phone. Learners only need a card which has a QR code printed on. You can assign multiple users to a single card, which again reduces the time taken for setting this up. And with, similar to Kahoot, the questions that you create can be reused, amended, modified, edited, so you don't have to keep recreating assessments and questions for the same topic. It reduces the need for tech while still being a digital assessment method. If you are in an area where the signal perhaps or the wireless isn't great, you've only got one device that needs a connection. The good thing as well with Plickers is once you get onto the website and you set these up, you can review and chart progress over time. So you can ask the same questions of your learners and see how they did in previous performances. Google Forms. Forms has a quiz function whereby you can assign points and also have the students' quiz self-marked. This is a wonderful way of setting assessment outside of class, as unlike Kahoot and Plickers, you don't need to do anything other than set it and send it so the learners have access to it. The self-marking, so once you set it up, it's done the marking for you. You only need to mark or create a master copy with the correct answers on. You then get a copy of everybody's answers, which is exportable to a spreadsheet, so you can filter, sort, track progress over time. Again, saving time, saving you effort, getting things done. It's mobile friendly, so learners can do it on their mobile device where and whenever they choose to. And if you are using Google Classroom, Forms integrates beautifully with Google Classroom. Final one is Mentimeter. Mentimeter is kind of like PowerPoint Plus, I think is the best way to describe it. Presentation tool with inbuilt audience participation functions if you are marketing Mentimeter. So you create a slide, you create a presentation as you would do on PowerPoint, but what you can do is add things such as polls, questions, surveys into that presentation. The audience log on with their device to menti.com, put a code in, and they then can participate in your presentation. You can use it for instant feedback on learners' progress of a topic. You can put a question in there and see immediately how much people have grasped or not, as the case may be. You're combining learning and assessment in a single resource, and perhaps really interestingly and nicely, it allows learners to offer their opinions without having to speak in class. So learners who perhaps lack confidence or don't want to talk in front of people but still have lots of ideas and how do you evidence their learning, their progress, using something like Mentimeter as a live poll can be a good way of getting everybody to share their progress with you. So there's an overview of 4 common digital assessment methods. What is going to go up over the next couple of weeks are some resources for you in the Learning Development Hub on each of those, looking at them in a bit more detail, offering some more advice, information, but then also some practical tasks for you to do whereby you create some assessments using one or as many as you choose of these different methods to see which one works for you. Learning technology coaches would be available to help and support with this. And so if you do need any help and you want to talk things through, then you're not on your own. We're available here to talk through. Contact us in the usual way, so email or catch us in the staff room, and we'll make time to work with you and make sure you've got your head around what it is you're trying to do and how to use it. So to recap, then we've looked at digital assessment methods, Kahoot, Plickers, Google Forms, Mentimeter. This presentation will be available on the Learning Development Hub as well, so you can click on the links through to the resource websites and have a go and see what they've got for you as well. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy your explorations into digital assessment.